Part 15 of the Story of Mary MacLane. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Reading by Kristen Hughes. The Story of Mary MacLane by Mary MacLane. Part 15. March 31st. She only said, "My life is dreary. He cometh not," she said. She said, "I am aweary, aweary. I would that I were dead." All day long this heart-sickening song of Mariana has been reeling and swimming in my brain. I awoke with it early in the morning, and it is still with me, now in the lateness. I wondered at times during the day why that very gentle and devilishly persistent refrain did not drive me insane or send me into convulsions. I tried vainly to fix my mind on a book. I began reading Mill on the Floss, but that weird poem was not to be foiled. It bewitched my brain. Now, as I write, I hear 20 voices chanting in a sad minor key, 20 voices that fill my brain with sound to the bursting point. He cometh not, he cometh not, he cometh not. That I were dead. I am aweary, aweary. That I were dead, that I were dead. He cometh not, that I were dead. It is maddening in that it is set sublimely to the music of my own life. Now that I have written it, I can hope that it may leave me. If it follows me through the night, and if I awake to another day of it, the chords of my overworked mind will surely break. But let me thank the kind devil. It is leaving me now. It is as if tons were lifted from my brain. April 2nd. How can anyone bring a child into the world and not wrap it round with a certain wondrous tenderness that will stay with it always? There are persons whose souls have never entered into them. My mother has some fondness for me, for my body, because it came of hers. That is nothing, nothing. A hen loves its egg. A hen. April 3rd. This evening, in the slow deepening dusk, I sat by my window and spent an hour in passionate conversation with the devil. I fancied I sat with my hands folded and my feet crossed, on an ugly but comfortable red velvet sofa in some nondescript room, and the fascinating man-devil was seated near in a frail willow chair. He had willingly come to pass the time of day with me. He was in a good-humored mood, and I amused and interested him. And for myself, I was extremely glad to see the devil sitting there, and felt vividly as always. But I sat quietly enough. The fascinating man-devil has fascinating steel-gray eyes, and they looked at me with every variety of glance, from quizzical to tender. It were easy, oh, how easy to follow those eyes to the earth's end. The devil leaned back in the frail willow chair and looked at me. "And now that I am here, Mary MacLane," he said, "what would you?" "I want you to marry me," I replied at once, "and I want it more than ever anything was wanted since the world began." "So I am flattered," said the devil, and smiled gently, enchantingly. At that smile I was ravished and transported, and a spasm of some rare emotion thrilled all the little nerves in me from my heels to my forehead. And yet the smile was not for me, but rather somewhat at my expense. "But," he went on, "you must know it is not my custom to marry women." "I am sure it is not," I agreed, "and I do not ask to be peculiarly favored. Anything that you may give me, however little, will constitute marriage for me." "And would marriage itself be so small a thing?" asked the devil. "Marriage," I said, "would be a great, oh, a wonderful thing, and the most beautiful of all. I want what is good according to my lights, and because I am a genius, my lights are many and far-reaching." "What do your lights tell you?" the devil-man inquired. "They tell me this, that nothing in the world matters unless love is with it, And if love is with it, and it seems to the virtuous a barren and infamous thing, still, because of the love, it partakes of the very highest. And have you the courage of your convictions? He said. If you offered me, I replied, that which to the blindly virtuous seems the worst possible thing, it would yet be for me the red, red line on the sky, my heart's desire, my life, my rest. You are the devil. I have fallen in love with you. I believe you have, said the devil. And how does it feel to be in love? Sitting composedly on the ugly red velvet sofa, with my hands folded and my feet crossed, I attempted to define that wonderful feeling. It feels, I said, as if sparks of fire and ice crystals ran riot in my veins with my blood, as if 1,000 pin-points pierced my flesh, and every other point a point of pleasure, and every other point a point of pain, as if my heart were laid to rest in a bed of velvet and cotton wool, but kept awake by sweet violin arias, as if milk and honey and the sweet blossoms of the cherry flowed into my stomach and then vanished utterly, as if strange, beautiful worlds lay spread out before my eyes, alternately in dazzling light and complete darkness with chaotic rapidity, as if orris root were sprinkled in the folds of my brain, as if sprigs of dripping wet sweet fern were stuck inside my hot linen collar, as if, well, you know, I ended suddenly. Very good, said the devil. You are in love, and you say you are in love with me. Oh, with you! I exclaimed with suppressed violence. The effort to suppress this violence cost me pounds of nerve power, but I kept my hands still quietly folded and my feet crossed, and it was a triumph of self-control. I want you to marry me, I added despairingly. And you think, he inquired, that apart from the opinion of the wise world, it would be a suitable marriage? A suitable marriage! I exclaimed. I hate a suitable marriage. No, it would not be suitable. It would be bohemian, outlandish, adorable. The devil smiled. This time the smile was for me. And oh, the long, old, overpowering enchantment of the smile of steel-gray eyes, the steel-gray eyes of the devil. It is one of those things that one remembers. You are a beautifully frank little feminine creature, he said. Frankness is in these days a lost art. Yes, I am beautifully frank, I replied. Out of countless millions of the devil's anointed, I am one to acknowledge myself. But withal you are not true, said the man-devil. I am a liar, I answered. You are a liar, surely, he said, but you stay with your lies. To stay with anything is truth. It is so, I replied. Nevertheless, I am false as woman can be. But you know what you want. Oh, yes, I said. I know what I want. I want you to marry me. And why? Because I love you. That seems an excellent reason, certainly, said the devil. And I want to be happy for once in my life, I said. I have never been happy, and if I could be happy for once, for one gold day, I should be satisfied, and I should have that to remember in the long years. And you are a strangely pathetic little animal, said the devil. I am pathetic, I said. I clasped my hands very tightly, for I know that I am pathetic, and for this reason I am the most terribly pathetic of all in the world. Poor little Mary MacLane, said the devil. He leaned toward me. He looked at me with those strange, wonderful, tender, divine steel-gray eyes. Poor little Mary MacLane, he said again in a voice that was like the gray dawn, and the eyes, the glance of the steel-gray eyes entered into me and thrilled me through and through. It frightened and soothed me. It racked and comforted me. It ravished me with inconceivable gentleness, so that I bent my head down and sobbed as I breathed. Don't you know, you little thing, said the man-devil, softly compassionate. "Your life will be very hard for you always, harder when you are happy than when you go into nothingness." "I know, I know. Nevertheless, I want to be happy," I sobbed. I felt a rush of an old, thick, heavy anguish. It is day after day, it is week after week, it is month after month, it is year after year, it is only time going and going, there is no joy, there is no lightness of heart, it is only the passing of days. I am young and all alone. Always I have been alone. When I was 5 I lay in the damp grass and tortured myself to keep back tears, and through the long cold lonely years till now. And now all the torture does not keep back the tears. There is no one, nothing, to help me bear it. It is more than pathetic when one is 19 in all young, new feeling, and sees nothing anywhere, except long, dark, lonely years behind her and before her, no one that loves me, and long, long years. I stopped. The gray eyes were fixed on me. Oh, they were the steel-gray eyes, and they had a look in them. The long, bitter pageant of my nothingness mingled with this look, and the coming together of these was like the joining of two halves. I do not know which brings me the deeper pain, the loneliness and weariness of my sand and barrenness, or the look in the steel-gray eyes. But as always, I would gladly leave all and follow the eyes to the world's end. They are like the sun's setting, and they are like the pale, beautiful stars, and they are like the shadows of the earth and the sky that come together in the dark. "Why," asked the devil, "are you in love with me?" "You know so much, I answered. "I think it must be that. The wisdom of the spheres is in your brain, and so then you must understand me, because no one understands all these smouldering feelings my greatest agony is. You must need know the very finest of them, and your eyes. Oh, it's no matter why I'm in love with you. It's enough that I am, and if you married me, I would make you happier than you are." "I am not happy at all," said the man-devil. "I am merely contented." "Contentment," I said, "in place of happiness is a horrid feeling. Not one of your countless advocates loves you. They all serve you faithfully and well, but with it all they hate you. Always people hate their tyrant. You are my tyrant, but I love you absorbingly, madly. Happiness for me would be to live with you and see you made happy by the overwhelming flood of my love." "It interests me," he said. "You are a most interesting feminine philosopher, and your philosophy is after my own heart, in its lack of virtue. It is to be hoped you are not intellectual, which is an unpardonable trait." "Indeed I am not," I replied. "Intellectual people are detestable. They have pale faces and bad stomachs and bad livers, and if they are women their corsets are sure to be too tight, and probably black, and if they are men they are soft, which is worse. And they never by any chance know what it means to walk all day in the rain, or to roll around on the ground in the dirt, and above all they never fall in love with the devil." "They are tiresome," the devil agreed. "If I were to marry you, how long would you be happy?" "For 3 days." "You are wise," he said. "You are wonderfully wise in some things, though you are still very young." "I am wise," I answered. "Being of womankind and 19 years, I am more than ready to give up absolutely anything that is good in the world's sight, though they are contemptible things enough in my own, for love. All for love. Therefore I am wise. Also I am a fool." "Why are you a fool?" "Because I am a genius." "Your logic is good logic," said the devil. "My logic! Oh, I don't care anything about logic," I said with sudden complete weariness. I felt buried and wrapped round and round in weariness. Everything lost its color. Everything turned cold. "At this moment," said the devil, "you feel as if you cared for nothing at all. But if I chose, I could bring about a transfiguration. I could kiss your soul into paradise." I answered, "Yes," without emotion. "An hour," said the Devil, "is not very long. But we know it is long enough to suffer in, and go mad in, and live in, and be happy in. And the world contains a great many hours. Now I am leaving you. It is likely I may never come again, and it is likely that I may come again." It all vanished. I sat by my window in the gloom. "It is dreary," I said. "But yes, the world contains a great many hours." April 4th. I have asked for bread sometimes, and I have been given a stone. Oh, it is a bitter thing! Oh, it is piteous, piteous! I find that I am not far apart from human beings. I can still be crushed, wounded, stunned, by the attitude of human beings. To-day I looked for human kindness, and I was given coldness. I repel human beings. I asked for bread, and I was given a stone. Oh, it is bitter, bitter! Oh, is there a thing in the wide world more bitter? God, where are you? I am crushed, wounded, stunned, and oh, I am alone. End of Part 15